Welcome back to Unhinged and Unplugged. Today we're honored to have a truly special guest, someone who represents the heart of New York City's bravest. Joining us is Chris Viola, treasurer of the Uniformed Firefighters Association, a fireman at Engine 65, and a founding board member of the New York Firefighters Foundation, an incredible organization that supports FDNY families when the sirens fade and the real challenges begin.
Chris and the foundation have been working with the Widows and Children's Funds on an upcoming FAO Schwartz holiday event, and they'll be recognized Monday night at Madison Square Garden during Firefighter Appreciation Night with the New York Rangers. It's a beautiful moment of community, gratitude, and giving back.
Chris, welcome to Unhinged and Unplugged. We are so happy that you're here.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me on.
Of course.
So for our listeners who might not know you yet, tell us a little bit about your background with the FDNY and what led you to your work with the UFA.
Sure. So my name is Christopher Viola, and I've been a firefighter since May of 2002. I was assigned to Engine 65 out of Bravest School. That's in Times Square, right down the block from where the ball drops. And I spent my career there. I've had a ton of fun working there, being in the city, and I became a board member of the UFA in 2019. I was the Manhattan trustee for a short time before I became the treasurer. And, I probably took those spots and got involved because, battling for our members' rights and doing what we can has always been something I've been passionate about.
I love that. So you're part of the newly formed New York Firefighters Foundation. What has inspired you to help create it, and what gap is it filling for firefighter families?
Yeah, so being on the board for the last 6 or 7 years, we've come to realize that a lot of our members need help, and help that they're not necessarily getting, and that we can give them. So we've had guys and girls whose apartments have been in fires, who've been flooded. Members who have off-duty injuries who are suffering, members who have wives or children that unfortunately have cancer or other types of diseases that are in need financially. And in seeing a lot of this, we realized that we needed to do something about it, basically. And Andy, our president, had brought an idea to the board, like, hey, how do you guys feel about starting our own charity, our own foundation? And we were like, it's got to happen. Let's do it. And it's always a saying that we want to leave the job better than we found it, and that's part of our mission. We think that starting this foundation and being able to help members, going forward, it's going to be something that will be remembered forever.
Right, because firefighters, you guys really are the true heroes. Like, you go into burning buildings when everyone's running out, and you really there's nothing there after. So it's not, I don't know. I feel like you guys deserve much more than, much more of the credit than you guys get.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate that. It's, we really don't think about it as being a hero. It's our job, right? And just like, a teacher goes to school every day to teach, and a nurse goes to the hospital every day, to help sick people. Our job sometimes is to run into danger when people are running out, but we're happy to do it.
And we're so thankful for you.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
The phrase, when the sirens stop, our mission begins, really resonates. What does that mean to you personally?
Yeah, it just means that, after the job is over, after the fire is out or the emergency's over, sometimes we're there to deal with the members who are hurt, whether it's mentally or physically. And that's our job as a union and our job as a foundation, to make sure that, whatever our members need, they get. The word we can't, or the words I should say, we can, not really in our vocabulary, right, or in any firefighter's vocabulary. We never want to say those words. So we want to make sure that the help, whether it's financial or counseling, we want to make sure that our members have those services or those finances available to them as much as we can.
And I really think that's why this foundation and this cause, we were like, oh my God, we're totally on board, because it's very important to have all of that help and support underneath you.
Absolutely. And, we hope that other people feel the same way. We hope that the public and the corporate people understand that
Right.
we're people that need help as well.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
much as we're able to to be there for them, we're hoping that they're going to reciprocate and be there for us.
So the foundation is partnering with FAO Schwartz and the Widows and Children's Fund for a really meaningful event this November. Can you tell us what that collaboration is all about?
Yeah, so FAO Schwartz has always been a great partner with us. So I want to say for the last 6 or 7 years, we've been extremely grateful that they've allowed our families and to come into the store 2 hours before the store actually opens, and we kind of have like a little holiday experience for our widows and our
I've
kids. We give
seen
them
that.
gift cards
Mhm.
to shop and do some of the experiences that they have there. We have coffee and refreshments there. We have a clown and a face painter there for the kids, and it's one of actually my favorite events of the year. Unfortunately, you know, we go to way too many funerals, and we have to see these widows and these kids at probably their worst moment.
Right.
It's uh,
So to see
Yeah.
them smile has to be very
It's nice to
rewarding.
bring them joy for a
Right.
little
it
bit.
is, it is,
Especially around the holidays.
it is because like that's priceless.
Yeah.
If you have a kid and you get to see your kid smile, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So
Right.
to be able to see these kids happy, it's a great feeling. The day is not just about what it does for them; it helps us as well.
Right.
And FEO Schwartz is a great partner. The Garden of Dreams actually is a great partner for the
Mhm.
event. Also, they're generous enough to usually give some gift bags for the kids, and they usually send over a retired ex-ranger or an ex
Yeah.
to kind of hang out with the kids, and it's great. It's much appreciated by the families, and we have somebody. Santa Claus makes an appearance. The block is shut down, and we have one of our local tower ladders, come by and take the kids in the up in the bucket with Santa Claus, and
Okay.
we take them for a ride around the block in an old fire truck. And like I said, it's heartwarming to see those kids smile.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
love that.
beautiful.
Yeah.
How did this partnership with such an iconic New York landmark like FAO Schwartz come together?
So we used to have the Christmas party in the fire museum, and for a little while the fire museum wasn't operating, and we were like, we need to come up with an idea as to where we can have this party, and we went to FAO Schwartz, and we explained what we do and what we were about, and they were more than happy to be a part of the event. So. Like I said, they've been a great partner. I think for like the last 6 or 7 years, and they make the day easy for us. They absolutely open the doors for us early, just for the families, and even though it's only a 2 hour event, I think it's perfect. You can see that they're happy to do it. Also, they express a lot of gratitude for allowing them to be a part of it as well.
Yeah. So I feel like we touched on this, but what can families expect that day? So what makes this event so special for the children and the families of our fallen heroes?
Yeah, so I mean, like the whole Santa Claus experience and getting to ride in the fire truck,
Mhm.
and inside FAO Schwartz, I think they have like the Build-A-Bear workshop is open, so the kids get to build their own stuffed animal. I think there's a Barbie workshop that the kids get to build their own Barbie doll.
That's so
Um,
nice.
and there's other like cute little things that interactions that they get to
Mhm.
do. We have a clown who's a retired fireman who
Aw.
volunteers his time every year. He makes the kids laugh, and he does some magic tricks and stuff. And like I said, it's just an all around great day.
Just
Um,
the joy.
just just the joy, like I said, to see the smiles on the kids' faces is it's priceless.
Yeah. Yeah. The holidays can be an especially difficult time for FDNY families who have lost someone in the line of duty. What does this event represent for them and for the brotherhood and sisterhood of the department?
Yeah, I think mostly, there's a famous expression in the fire department about never forget,
Mhm.
and I think this just solidifies. We have widows who have young children, had young children when their spouse passed, and now some of those kids are 17 and 18, and they're still coming to this party. So, they've grown up with us, and they look forward to the event as much as we do. So, I think it signifies that no matter how long, how much time has passed,
Yeah.
we're still there for family, and to let them know that they're not alone, and that we're always here for them.
Yeah. My sister-in-law, her kids were 2 and 3 when her husband died in 9/11, and still to this day, I mean, she got remarried, obviously, but it's still hard.
It is.
Hard, her kids they're grown now, but
yeah, I don't know if that pain ever goes away.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it's just, I think things, get easier, but they don't ever get easier.
Yeah, no.
I'd agree.
How can listeners or local businesses get involved? So whether through sponsoring a child's gift, volunteering, or supporting the event financially, what can they do?
Yeah, so I think maybe shared our QR code with you guys. Yes. They can also go to nyfirefighterfoundation.org. That's our website, and they can get some information there. They can follow us on Instagram at New York Firefighters Foundation. And, all the information is there for them to donate. You can be a one-time donor. You can be a weekly or a monthly donor. You can ask us questions about the event. We have some sponsorships available for the event. I would say that's probably the best way to get involved. Just, go to our website and click on the link.
Perfect.
Monday night, the New York Rangers are acknowledging your foundation and the UFA on the Jumbotron. That's a huge platform. So what does that mean for the firefighter community?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's, a great partnership with MSG, to have our foundation, be shown on the Jumbotron. It just, legitimizes that, we're here, and, we're great partners with MSG. And that, we're here to help. And, we realize that a lot of our members are, Knicks fans or Ranger fans. Mm-hmm. And, sports is always a big thing in the firehouse. So, we hope that a lot of people, not just our members, but, people who care about firefighters and, the needs that we may have, see it and, go to our website or go to our Instagram page and follow us and do what they can to get involved to help.
Sports have this amazing power to bring people together. What message do you hope fans at the Garden take away when they see that moment?
I just hope that they realize that, although we're usually the people that turn, we're the people that people turn to when they're in trouble, but we need somebody to turn to when we're in trouble, when we're in need. And, we hope that they recognize all of the things that we do for the community and for the people of New York. And we hope that they, respect and they honor that and, get involved by, helping our foundation.
Oh, what I was going to say earlier is that you are doing this before you have an emergency, like before the GoFundMe goes out. If something happens, God forbid, to somebody, you're doing it when all is calm, like you're just where there's no emergency right now. Like, and right. I think that's important because like there's no rush. Like everybody will donate and they'll, it's an amazing thing.
It'll be there.
And it's there for them when it's needed and you don't have to go into panic mode.
Right. Yeah. Right. So, I mean, unfortunately, it's not a matter of if it'll happen. It's a matter of when, right? We know that, something's going to come up at any time. And like I said, we have members that unfortunately, have incidents happen to them, whether it's an apartment fire or flooding or, we have, unfortunately, it's big in not only the fire department, but in EMS and the police department, there's a huge, mental health crisis. Mm-hmm. And we want to make sure that, services are available to our members to take advantage of. We want to make sure that if we have members who are, have a child who are sick, who has a spouse who is sick, whatever the case may be, we want to be there to help. And that's basically, that's what firefighting is all about. That's what the family and the tradition of being a firefighter is about, to, always help your brother and sister and always be able to say that I did all I could to help.
Right. Partnerships like this between sports organizations and firefighter causes can really amplify awareness. How important are collaborations like this one?
They're extremely important, and we're kind of at the the beginning stage of the foundation, and we do have the Rangers and Knicks and MSG on board with us, and if the Islanders are listening and the Mets, Yankees are listening, we would love to have you guys, partner with us and be a part of our foundation and offer some help. It'd be great to partner with all the local sports teams because we know how important that is for sure.
Right, because people are interested in them, so you're like, okay, they're supporting this cause, I'm supporting it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, can you share a story without naming names if needed that really captures what the foundation does for families in crisis?
So, I mean, I can talk about the FAO event, and I think that, like, we have some sponsorship for the event, and the fact that, we're going to have some people donate things that the widows would find special. I think, like, a gift card to, for a massage and for, like, I think it's going to be like a gift card also for like manicure and pedicure.
Mm-hmm.
Anything to make mom
Mm-hmm.
relax a little and kind of have her own day. I think that's pretty cool so far.
Yeah, so nice. What are some of the challenges FDNY families face after the emergencies end that most people don't realize?
Yeah, I think sometimes it's the financial burden. Listen, we obviously we have health insurance and we have coverage and stuff like that, but I think sometimes, what people don't realize is, that member may not be able to, to work at the time because he has to care for his child. And, what used to be, a salary that included, a bunch of different things now is, very limited.
Mm.
And, if he's the sole provider for the family or if, his wife now or husband, can't work because they have to care for, a sick child, the monetary burden becomes, extremely heavy, and we want to be able to do what we can to help relieve some of that burden.
Of course, it's tough going from two salaries to one at that point, and then you want to be there for the kids, but you can't. So when you
Yeah,
guys step in, I think it's very important.
I think anybody that that lives in the city or has to live in the city would understand. It's
Yeah,
it's not
not cheap.
not at all. And most of us have a side job because of our
Yeah,
schedule, not just because of the schedule, but because we try to do everything we can for our children, whether it's playing on certain sports teams and travel and stuff like that. And
yeah,
nothing goes down, everything goes up. So
Yeah.
it can be tough.
yeah,
And like I said before, mentally it can be tough too. So
Yeah, if
we
you have to deal with this stuff at home, a sick child or something like that, a wife, like, then how are you even going to work with your mind, like the right way?
yeah. Yeah, and sometimes it's just a phone call, to the member to say, hey, how are things? I know you've been through a lot lately. How about we meet up for dinner?
Yeah,
Go for a drink, and maybe we don't talk about anything, but
right.
about sports, or we talk about
right.
our favorite hobby, or we talk about going fishing or something like that,
Mm.
just to get
Get their mind off it.
mind off of what's going on, because it can be burdensome for sure
Yeah,
to have to take care of somebody.
Yeah.
definitely. The foundation focuses on supporting FDNY families through off-duty injuries, illnesses, and tragedies that don't always make the headlines. Can you share a story or example that shows how your team steps in during those unseen moments?
Yeah, so I mean, we've had a family who, unfortunately, a member was hurt. Non-line of duty, was in a bad accident, and that person was in the hospital for a while. We helped keep that family in a hotel for several weeks. Instead of going back and forth to their house, which was pretty far, substantial amount of time away. We put them up in a hotel close to the hospital, so that the family didn't have the burden of traveling back and forth every day. And in that time, we did what we could with their children to kind of make them feel at ease. But these are some of the things that unfortunately our members go through, and this is the support that we want to offer and be able to give the families.
We're here for it.
Yeah.
When the sirens stop, our mission begins is your tagline, and it says it all. We sat down with Allison and Mimi, and they told us the mission. We were like,
Yeah, we got like chills.
amazing.
Good.
What does the phrase mean to you personally, as someone who has lived this life of service?
Yeah, it just means that it's just it's another job. It's another fire to go to figure out how to put out and how to help. And it's being involved in the union is it's a lot of work. There's a lot that goes into it that doesn't always get noticed.
Right.
But it's a pleasure to serve the membership, and it's an honor to be elected by the members, and being there to help. It's gratifying when at the end of the day, or when things get a little easier, and that member tells you thank you so much for helping me. It meant a lot to me and my family. Like,
It's rewarding.
something that will keep with you forever.
Right.
You've mentioned that this foundation bridges the civilian and firefighter communities. What can everyday New Yorkers do to help strengthen that bridge?
Yeah, I mean, just follow us on Instagram and check out our website, and volunteer. Like, I know in the future we're going to have events that we're going to need volunteers at. We'd love for them to volunteer,
We
and
love that. We're all about volunteering.
Mimi and Allison have a bunch of things planned going forward that we'll announce on Instagram in the coming weeks or months. And we're going to need support. We're going to need people to volunteer, and it's great to have the firefighters volunteer, but it'd be even better to have the public show support and volunteer.
Of course.
Well, it shows our members that the public really cares, and they appreciate the work that we do, and they're willing to to show their appreciation back by volunteering to to work some of these events, or to donate. I mean, donating is always a big thing as well.
Always key, right? So
Always.
speaking of donating, for anybody who's listening, what kind of sponsorship opportunities exist, and how can they make a tangible difference through the partnership?
Yeah, so again, I know some of our events are going to have some big sponsorships available. We'd love to partner with corporations or investment firms who would like to partner with us and help our members. So if they go to the website and they click on donate, or they go to the website and look for our upcoming events, there'll be sponsorships available for them to take. And we really appreciate the support, and we welcome any help that we can get financially.
Perfect. And we'll link the website as well. Website, Instagram, we'll have it all linked at the end of the episode, so everybody can click on it and check it out. So you've spent years serving others. What keeps you personally motivated to keep giving back as well?
I think it's just a great feeling, like I said before, when you're able to help somebody, and that person, looks at you and says thank you. I just, it's a great feeling. I as the trustee and then the treasurer, I've been, fortunate enough to, to help people in different situations. And, it's a good feeling afterwards when things work out, and that person, takes the time to call you, or, sometimes even nice to drop off a bottle to you and say thank you. But it really is it's gratifying and rewarding when somebody appreciates the work that you do and recognizes that you've helped, and it's good to reflect on that and see that you made a difference in that person's life.
Yeah, definitely. When you think of the foundation's future, what impact do you think that it will have in 5 or 10 years?
I hope it has a huge impact. I hope that all of our members in need are going to get the help that they deserve. Like I said, it's it's not in a fireman's vocabulary or a firefighter's vocabulary to say we can't. So we want to make sure that we never have to utter those words. We want to make sure that any member who's in need is going to get the help, financially, or get the services that they need. And we hope that in 10 years, the foundation is, extremely successful, extremely well funded, and that it's never a problem again if a member is hurt, non-line of duty, or is, has an illness, or, unfortunately a spouse or a child who has an illness where, they need help or they need financial help, that, they can't get. So I think bridging that gap and making sure that that doesn't happen, that would, that'd be a great legacy for, for all of the board members, currently who are, kind of like at the groundbreaking of this foundation, and, helping it to get started. I think it'd be very rewarding for all of us, that it was extremely successful and doing exactly what we thought it would in 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, we can't say it enough. We think it's such a great cause. I mean, I don't know who wouldn't think it's a great cause.
No, thank you. We appreciate the support, and we hope that that many more people share the same sentiment.
Yeah,
they will.
If you could leave our audience with one message about the New York Firefighters Foundation, what would it be?
That we're always willing to go above and beyond to help you, and we're asking for that same help. We're not asking for you to to go broke by making a donation, but we appreciate anything you can do, whether it's to donate or to volunteer. We're happy to serve the public. We're happy to to run in to danger when other people are running out. We hope that you acknowledge the sacrifice that our families have made, and our brothers and sisters have made, and we hope that you find it in your heart to help, the same way that we would help you.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a nice way to end it. Right. Chris, thank you very much for all the incredible work that you and your team are doing. We're very happy to support you in any way, and it's about honoring humanity and the community, and not just supporting firefighters.
We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Me on. I did a decent job.
You did a great job. And if
you'll yell at me.
No, you did a fantastic job. And if you're listening right now and your heart's been moved by what Chris has shared, visit NYFirefightersFoundation.org or follow NY Firefighters Foundation on Instagram to learn how you can help. Whether it's a donation, volunteering your time, or simply sharing their mission, every bit of support helps keep New York's bravest families strong. Thank you again, Chris.
Yeah,
thank you.
And thank you to all the firefighters, families, and supporters who make this mission possible.
We appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome. Hope to see you at an event.
Yeah. And we're excited to help and volunteer anywhere.
Yeah, whatever you need, we're here.
Thank you guys.
Okay. Have a good night. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.